Joining me today is UFC featherweight Hakeem Dawodu, who takes on Movsar Evloev at UFC 263. Hakeem, how's it going?
It's going good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Getting close to your fight. When do you plan on traveling to Arizona?
I think I leave on the 8th. Yeah, so
Okay,
it's
cool.
not too far from me.
Cool. How long is that flight?
I think it's only like 4 hours, so it's not too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. A lot closer than Fight Island, but this is another kind of marquee card for you. Got a bit of the crowd back in your last fight. This time it's going to be a sold-out crowd. So how do you feel about competing with a full capacity crowd?
Yeah, it's nice to have the fans back. I haven't fought. I haven't had crowds since I think I fought in New York, so it's definitely nice to be able to interact with the fans and have some fans in the cage and whatnot. And yeah, I just plan on putting on a show and performing like I always do.
And yeah, you were initially scheduled to fight Shane Burgos at UFC 257. You were forced out due to a shoulder injury. First of all, how's your shoulder and what happened? Has this kind of been a nagging injury or an accident in training?
Yeah, I slightly hurt it in my last fight against Zubar, but it wasn't fully torn. So I tried to just train right through it and get that next fight happening right away against Shane Burgos, and then I ended up tearing it further in training.
Oh, wow. Okay. So how long kind of did the recovery process take and for you to get back? And I'm assuming you didn't undergo surgery?
No, I didn't undergo surgery. I just did a whole bunch of rehab, and I was able to get through this fight camp, feel nice and strong, feel nice and healthy. And then after this fight, we're going down to the PI, and they're gonna do some work on me and see what the best option is.
Okay, cool. But I'm assuming you feel pretty good, like your shoulder going into this fight?
Oh, yeah. I feel strong. I'm healthy. Weight's coming off, so yeah, nothing to worry about on my end.
Awesome. Good to hear. And I know you wanted, like after your last win, you wanted kind of a top 10 opponent. You were excited. You mentioned actually the possibility of Shane Burgos, I believe, before it came official. You were kind of happy that this is a guy that was going to come forward and strike. Now you get Movsar. So was part of you kind of disappointed in the change of style matchup, or what are your thoughts when they came to you with Movsar?
Yeah, it's you can't be too disappointed. It's not Shane Burgos' fault I got injured. You know what I mean? I was originally supposed to fight him, but sometimes things just happen. And yeah, so I plan on going all the way to the top. So it's inevitable that I'm going to keep running into these Chechnyans and Dagestanians and Russians and whatnot. But I have no plan on knocking them down and getting on the way to the path to the top 10. So I feel like it's it's a tough fight, but once I get this guy out the way, then I'll be able to make my call out and get a more desirable fight.
And yeah, because you've been matched up with a lot of kind of like these killers, these young killers. I mean, like yourself, but kind of those fighters that maybe a lot of people don't want to fight. And a lot of guys that are in your position sometimes in the UFC will get more of like a grizzly veteran, if you know what I mean, like a guy with a name that's had his ups and downs, and maybe for you to build your name off of. But you're getting kind of these very tough young killers that a lot of people aren't throwing or jumping to fight them. So what are your thoughts on kind of like the matchmaking process for you so far in your UFC career?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they want to test me. Maybe they want to see me lose, or maybe they know I'm the man for the job to keep beating these wrestlers and these Russians and Chechnyans. So either way I look at it, I know I got the tool set to beat anybody in the division. So I'm not looking past this fight, but I'm definitely here to put this guy away and keep moving up to that top 10.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a fantastic fight on paper. But before we talk about the matchup, I want to talk about your last win. I was there and I covered it in Abu Dhabi. Spoke to you before and after the fight. I felt like you were a little harsh on yourself with your performance. I felt like I really enjoyed the fight. Did you get a chance to watch it back? And if so, what were your thoughts after on your performance?
It was one of those fights where I think I gave him a little bit too much respect in the beginning of his power, and just weird. Sure. Unfortunate events. I had a little tear in my ankle, literally like four days before the fight, just rolling. and I wasn't able to turn on my right hand fully. That was like, as a fighter, you're going to be very hard on yourself. But those are just a few things I noticed, and yeah, I'm happy I got the win, but I definitely felt like I could have performed a lot better.
And I know you've got a couple of like split decision wins on your resume. They're great fights. Like I said, if somebody just looks at them record wise and doesn't actually watch the fight, they wouldn't get a proper depiction of those performances. But
Yeah.
as part of that, like going into a fight like this, do you feel like you kind of need to have that emphatic performance to propel you up like the top 10 and stuff like that?
Yeah, definitely. I don't want to split this fight. I don't feel like my fights in the past have been split decisions. So, you got to win very definitively because you never know what these judges are watching. But this fight, I plan on making it very, very clear who's going to be the winner.
And how do you see this matchup playing out? Obviously, he comes from a grappling background. Are you expecting him to come out there and try to wrestle you?
I think he's going to come and try and strike for a little bit till he feels uncomfortable, and then he's going to start shooting for the stars. And then I see myself stuffing his takedown or him falling into a submission. And then, me doing what I usually do, just making it a Mina Kima fight and laying a beating on him and making him quit.
And you, in your last fight, obviously Zubaira coming from a grappling background as well, you probably prepared a lot of wrestling for that. So do you feel like that helped, like going through that training camp for Zubaira going into an opponent like Movsar?
Yeah, definitely. I felt Zubaira was, they each have their own strengths. I thought Zubaira was a little bit more dangerous, as in he has shown a little bit of knockout power in the past. As in this guy, he's only had 4 fights at featherweight and he hasn't knocked anybody out. But where I think where he's a little bit stronger than Zubaira is he's got better cardio than Zubaira. So I don't see him quitting until I give him a reason to quit.
All right, I see, and you've got that Nigerian flag in the background there. I feel like you're a young, highly touted prospect. Some people look at you as kind of Canada's next hope to become champion, but you're obviously representing Nigeria as well, and we're seeing kind of the new wave of talent, and Kamaru becoming champion, Francis, Israel Adesanya. So you kind of like carrying, I don't want to say 2 responsibilities, but kind of like 2 inspirations. So just talk to me about representing both.
It's my mother's Nigerian, so yes, I am half Nigerian, and my father is Jamaican, so I see myself representing all 3. My mom being Nigerian, my father being Jamaican. He still lives in Jamaica, and obviously me being raised in Canada, I feel like it's important for me to rep all 3 of my nationalities.
Yeah, for sure. And do you think we'll see a UFC Africa soon?
Yeah, I've heard Dana White talking about it. Especially with all the African fighters on the rise, I don't see why not. I see a UFC in Lagos definitely being a must have. You know what I mean? Especially with all the Nigerian fighters on the rise. So I definitely think that is the next best move, and start getting UFC Africa going.
It's been a while since the UFC's been back in Canada as well. Are you kind of feeling, and I think I've asked you this before, and I could probably continue to ask you because you're winning these fights, you keep climbing up the ranks, but any pressure kind of at all, like being Canada's next hope as a future champion? It's obviously a great thing. And like I said, we've had, you've had George St. Pierre, Rory McDonald up top for a while. So what's it been like in terms of the coverage of your career and just kind of that pressure of people expecting you to become the next champion?
Yeah, definitely. There's a little bit of pressure. You know what I mean? I'm technically, I'm Canada's next hope. We haven't been doing, we've had some tough luck with some of our fighters not pulling through. So yeah, I definitely feel like there's a lot of pressure on me to keep representing him. But at the same time, I'm used to this. I keep winning fight by fight. So a little bit of pressure, but there's nothing wrong with pressure and wanting to perform for your country. So. Um, it's something I deal with, something I'm used to, and I'm just gonna keep doing what I do and representing Canada.
For sure. And where do you feel like a win over Movsar will take you in the featherweight division?
Top 10. I think after I beat this kid, there's no denying me a top 10, and yeah, let me get some of those really exciting fights in the top featherweight division. We got a lot of good guys coming up. And I'm just very eager to break that top 10 and start making my title run.
And the title fight, I think it takes place in fall between Brian Ortega and Alexander Volkanovski. How do you see that one playing out?
You know, I see Ortega winning. You know what I mean? I think he'll be able to beat Volkanovski on the feet, and you know, Volkanovski got really good wrestling, but I think Ortega's jiu-jitsu might be a real problem. So I'm going with Brian on this one.
Okay, interesting, nice. I mean, they're premiering The Ultimate Fighter now. It seems like they're kind of like sparked up a bit of beef with with Volkanovski. That element of the sport, because I know you're not exactly kind of like a trash talker or somebody that'll go out in the mic, but do you ever think, because you're kind of one of those underrated guys, do you ever think of maybe if you were more vocal that would kind of help? What do you make of that kind of approach to the fight game?
No, definitely. You know, I got all my friends and, you know, fans telling me to be more vocal, be more, you know, trash talking. I find I'm just a very, you know, I'm just a real guy. You know what I mean? I'm not going to do nothing fake. You know, if I dislike somebody, I'll tell it straight to their face. But I'm not. It's hard for me to kind of, you know, make up some BS and you know, talk that trash, especially coming from the martial arts background I come from. You know, I come from a Muay Thai kickboxing background, so a lot of times there was no trash talking, and you and your opponent didn't even speak the same language anyways, you know what I mean, because you'd be fighting people from all over the world. But yeah, you know, I definitely heard that, you know, be a bit more vocal, get my voice and my name out there a bit more. So yeah, definitely, you know, I'll try to be a bit more vocal and get the fans more involved and get my name out there.
Nice. And I'll leave you with one last one, and I appreciate your time. Do you have a prediction or a way you envision your fight with Movsar going down?
I can picture a third round TKO. Definitely, that's how I see it going down.
All right, awesome stuff. Well, Hakeem, I appreciate you taking the time. Really looking forward to this fight. Like I said, it's a great fight. It may not be that massive name that you were looking for, but on paper, it's a spectacular fight. So looking forward to it, and best of luck at UFC 263.
Thank you. I really appreciate it, and thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Have a good day.